He's done the welterweight thing, he's done the middleweight thing, so he's a draw. And I think the UFC, story-wise, wants to see Chimaev get, a shot at the champion or whatever. They want to see Chimaev like...
The undefeated freestyle wrestler Khamzat Chimaev is showing no mercy on his body and insanely training to beat South African fighter Dricus Du Plessis in the earliest round. It will be shocking to know that Khamzat has been spotted with Arman Tsarukyan for his final training camp. He is in beast mode, and this time around he's sharpening his tools. Two of the most dangerous and relentless fighters in MMA are now training side by side, means Khamzat isn't taking any chances. Khamzat is a pro at mixing strikes, throwing punches and leg kicks at the same time. That wild pressure keeps opponents guessing and breaks them fast. He's not just coming to wrestle, he's coming to dominate. Khamzat Chimaev is known for pushing himself to the absolute limit during training. He doesn't show any mercy to his body. He trains with intense discipline, often training 2 to 3 times a day in serious and punishing training sessions. Looking into his training camp, it's for sure that DDP will not get even a single chance to throw punches. All he will do is self-defense. Khamzat Chimaev was previously seen training with Ilia Topuria, adding another elite name to his camp. That footage showed two killers sharpening each other. It's clear Khamzat isn't just training hard, he's training smart, surrounding himself with champions to level up every area of his game. Khamzat Chimaev's training camp for Dricus Du Plessis focuses heavily on improving his wrestling and grappling skills to control the fight and avoid being taken down. He also focuses on his striking, working to develop and apply his leg kicks and punches in order to keep DDP under pressure. Khamzat wants to be able to go hard for 15 minutes, and conditioning is essential to that. At the same time, his team studies DDP's style to identify patterns that Khamzat can incorporate into his strategy. They want to combine heavy striking with some return to attempting takedowns. Mental preparation is also important so he can remain calm and confident in the lead up to and during the fight. Robert Whittaker seemed to really respect Dricus Du Plessis as a dangerous fighter and therefore a fighter who is tough and skilled. Robert said that the battle would be serious because Dricus is no joke.
Robert Whittaker predicts Dricus Du Plessis versus Khamzat Chimaev. Robert Whittaker thinks if Khamzat Chimaev can't finish Dricus Du Plessis in the early rounds, the South African fighter will somehow find a way to beat Chimaev.
Can DDP drag it into those later rounds? Can he get through the first grappling exchanges? If Chimaev can't get DDP out of there, DDP wins. Like DDP wins almost every fight. You can't get rid of him, right? Honestly, dude.
In short, Robert's respect for Dricus serves to show that no matter how Khamzat would fare in that matchup, it would still be high-level fighting, and both fighters would present big challenges for one another in the cage. However, Islam Makhachev's manager, Ali Abdelaziz, confidently stated that Khamzat Chimaev will do to Dricus Du Plessis exactly what he did to Robert Whittaker: dominate and finish him decisively.
Du Plessis versus Khamzat Chimaev. How do you feel about this fight?
Everybody know I used to work with Khamzat. I love the guy. After COVID, it really messed him up. One of the craziest things I ever seen. Thrown up like blood. As far as I know now, he's in Russia, he's in camp, he's focused, he's a superstar. He's one of the biggest stars in the UFC. When you have this kind of pressure, sometimes people doesn't know how to handle it. It's hard to bet against focused Khamzat, healthy Khamzat. I think he can beat anyone on any given day. As talent, as technique, it's Khamzat. If you go to the third and fourth and fifth round, how this fight gonna go? I believe Khamzat can go there. Did to him what he did to Robert Whittaker. 100%, I believe this.
Meanwhile, American mixed martial artist Eddie Alvarez didn't hold back when talking about Dricus Du Plessis versus Khamzat Chimaev. He called Dricus an odd, awkward fighter hard to read, but not unstoppable. Alvarez is all in on Khamzat and said Khamzat wins for sure.
August 16th, UFC 319, it's going to be headlined by Dricus Du Plessis versus Khamzat Chimaev. Who do you favor in that fight?
I think it's hard to bet against Chimaev for me. The guy's a powerhouse, but I can't pick that. Yeah, Dricus is like this odd character for me. Like I never really watching him aesthetically. It don't all look perfect. It's very like it doesn't look aesthetically. It doesn't look good, but he gets the job done. His conditioning's crazy. He's one of the hardest workers in the entire sport, and he finds a way. He's one of them guys who find a way regardless of how it looks.
Dricus Du Plessis is the kind of fighter who can flip the script. If Khamzat doesn't dominate early, Dricus has the grit, gas tank, and chaos to turn the match towards his favor, but as if Khamzat slows down or fades under pressure.
I think Chimaev, if it goes past round 2, Dricus.
Chael Sonnen dropped a bold take on the UFC middleweight scene, putting a serious spotlight on Dricus Du Plessis. Surprisingly, he added that today's middleweight division is the toughest it's ever been. Chael, known for his ego, showed rare respect, expressing that the current champ might not just be the best today, but the best of all time.
I can openly tell you, middleweight has never been harder than it is now. Like whoever is the best middleweight right now is the best middleweight of all time. That was a distinction that Anderson Silva, of course, had, that Israel Adesanya then took claim to. But you've now got Dricus at the same time that Adesanya is still active, head-to-head competition, and you go, okay, but was that because Dricus was that good, or was Izzy's time just up? That's a real thing too.
Chael Sonnen says Dricus Du Plessis didn't rise through dominance, he rose through noise. He talked loudly, got into a fight with Darren Till, and landed on the main card. It may not have been a breakout performance, but Dricus thought he was the best even if nobody else did. Then the UFC put him in with Robert Whittaker. Only world champions have beaten Robert Whittaker. Dricus dominated him, but there still were and still are doubters.
He got a window, nobody knows what it is. But Dricus steps out. And I mean, this is back when Dricus had fought on TV one time. No, I apologize. He had never fought on TV, at least not pay-per-view main card, right? And he speaks up so he gets the fight with Darren Till. that gets put as the opening fight of the main card. Largely, squeaky wheel got the grease. Here you go. Be happy with it. And it was a real battle. Those guys went back and forth, and it went to the third round. I'm just sharing, like, Dricus did not come out of that ring that night. We're all going, oh my goodness, Darren Till's a hard night out for anybody. Maybe we got to relook at that match, don't we? At any rate, we'll make this mouthy guy. We'll make him go away. We'll put him in co-main event spot. We'll move him right up the card, and we'll put him opposite Robert Whitaker.
Chael Sonnen views Khamzat Chimaev as a serious threat to Dricus Du Plessis and views it as a legitimate elite level fight. He admits that Dricus has surprised many with how he has risen, but he insists that Khamzat is a different breed, explosive, relentless, and dangerous everywhere.
Nobody's ever beaten Robert Whitaker that couldn't call themselves world champion. Very interesting stat. He's never lost to a guy that wasn't world champion. Now, there's one exception, which is Chimaev, but his opportunity's coming up. All right, great. Just before you think you have to leave me a comment. Now, goes out there and he dominates him. All right. Well, Robert Whitaker had an off night. And we'll figure out what to do with this guy. He's not a star. He's not main event ready. He's not going for the world title.
Chael Sonnen, former UFC fighter, says Dricus Du Plessis was never supposed to even fight for the title, but when the chaos came, he stepped in and defeated Sean Strickland at the peak of his career. Then he had Izzy lined up, and rather than praising Dricus for the victory, the fans blamed Izzy. Chael calls that a flawed way of thinking, because while Dricus may keep climbing and keep winning, somehow the questions haven't ended.
X and Y happen, and they turn to Z, which was Dricus, and they bring him in for the world title against Sean Strickland. And I'm just sharing a little bit of Dricus's past, but that's a very hard night out to get over on Sean, particularly at that time. Sean was firing on all cylinders. There was no excuse. Two guys fought, and one guy was better at it. All right. And then Dricus draws into Izzy. And it was the kind of outcome that, for whatever reason as human beings, we don't praise the winner. We come away with more of a pulling down of the loser. Well,
Khamzat Chimaev is the perfect opponent for Dricus Du Plessis to truly prove how good he is. Khamzat brings pressure, wrestling, explosiveness, everything fans claim Dricus hasn't faced yet. If Dricus can manage that storm, stop Khamzat, and still be successful, then all the speculation is done. This is not just a fight, it is a test, and for Dricus, this is the perfect opportunity to effectively silence doubters as well as stamp his mark in history.
This is the hardest time in middleweight history. You got Caio Borralho, you got Imanov, how disrespectful for me not to mention his name. You got the undefeated Chimaev, you got Whitaker that's not backing down, you got RDR, you got Bo Nickel. There has never been a time. So in theory, I mean, by process of elimination under the laws of logic, that would make the current champion the greatest of all time. But we're not there yet, are we, guys? We're not there yet. It just seems like this is the one that Dricus needs.
In Chael Sonnen's view, the middleweight division has a lot of challengers, including undefeated Khamzat, tough Whitaker, RDR, and Bo Nickel all watching them. With that being said, the current champion should be GOAT, but we aren't there yet. This upcoming fight feels like Dricus is selling out at the chance to prove it. Get an impressive victory here, then the real challenge awaits in RDR. When asked how Khamzat could beat Dricus, Sonnen laughed and said it wasn't an easy question, which just shows how much of a lion's den this is becoming.
This great and dominant and undefeated and younger. It just feels like to close the book on this. Now, if he gets over, we will quickly find his next problem, right? Which is likely RDR if it goes well with Whitaker, just for example. But what I'm attempting to share with you is I got asked today, how does Chimaev beat Dricus?
Chael Sonnen says he gets asked all the time, how does Khamzat beat Dricus? But that question usually reveals who the asker thinks will win. Most don't really believe Khamzat was long thought of by fans as unbeatable, or not being able to lose against anyone.
Does Chimaev beat Dricus? Is a different verbiage for saying, I don't think Chimaev can beat Dricus, and I'm only sharing with you. That's new. You guys have always believed that Chimaev could beat Dricus. You've always believed that Chimaev could beat everybody. You believed as recently as Chimaev's last fight that nobody could touch him. And you're a very fickle group. And can he beat him? That's between those two. How does he beat him? He starts with plan A, which is to take him down and maul him. And if that doesn't work, which in the past it hasn't, he attempts to bludgeon him on his feet more than he gets bludgeoned. That's the answer to the question.
What is the answer? Khamzat's only plan for beating Dricus is simple. Take him down and hold him down and control him. If the takedown doesn't work, and usually it hasn't before, he will try to outstrike Dricus standing, but his effort ends up being outstruck. And there lies a simple truth on how Khamzat could win. Khamzat Chimaev is still undefeated, and there is good reason for it. He is going to leave no stone unturned in preparing for his toughest test yet against Dricus Du Plessis. Khamzat is going through some hard training and fine-tuning every aspect of his game. He's pushing his body and mindset to the absolute limits. It's an absolute destruction in the octagon, but don't get it twisted, Dricus Du Plessis is a tough challenge. He possesses KO power and a warrior's mentality to shock the world and give Khamzat his first loss. The impending clash between Khamzat Chimaev and Dricus Du Plessis is arguably one of the most eagerly anticipated bouts currently active in the MMA arena. Khamzat has relentless wrestling, aggressive striking, and unbelievable conditioning, whereas DDP has an impressive overall skill set and possesses heavy hands. They will need to prove their toughness, conditioning, ability, and will to win inside the cage. There isn't any mistaking Khamzat's training camp. He approaches training camps in a relentless manner, and that attitude and his body's capacity will be pushed to its limit so he can employ his game plan and maintain control of the fight as exterminator from start to finish. Conversely, Dricus Du Plessis will be required to implement smart striking and reflexive experience to frustrate Khamzat and open up moments for heavy impact acts of offense. What do you think will be the key to victory? Will Khamzat's relentless pressure and wrestling dominate the fight, or will DDP's striking and power be too much to handle? How many rounds do you think this fight will last? Drop your predictions in the comments below. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want to stay updated with the latest fight news, analysis, and predictions, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.